All right. Okay, settle out. All right. So now, as we finished our first activities, okay, so we move on to our next activity, okay, which is matching heading, okay. Right. So this is probably the most terrifying one, right? Probably in the IELTS test, because been I have received many reports about this particular type of question, right? It's the most challenging. It requires you guys to read a lot, and sometimes even when you read the whole paragraph, you guys cannot just identify the correct heading. So first, right? Does anyone in the class know how to deal with these questions? Well, let me rephrase that. How can you guys normally approach this question? Okay, so if I give you a piece of paper and then a piece of paper that's this question, okay, matching heading, what's the first thing that you guys usually do when you guys see this question? Uh, what's the first thing? Okay, yes. So how about you? Okay, what do you do? What do you do when you see this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And here, you. What's the scariest part about this? Or should I say, what usually makes you choose the wrong heading? Okay? Or what's the mistakes you usually make during this this question? Okay? Good. Right. Hmm. Uh-huh. Hear you. Okay, good. So now I know it from your guys' point of view. Now I'm gonna give my point of view. Okay, right. I'm gonna demonstrate step by step approach to this type of question. Okay, so class, listen closely. There are many strategies. Okay, but first, right? Because we have to read lots of words in a written text, right? So we want to try to what? Okay, to limit, okay, the number of words we read. How can we do that? One simple technique is to use keywords. Okay, it's keywords, right? So as you can see here, I have a list of 8 headings. Okay, and each heading is basically a sentence. You guys cannot remember, or I should say, most of you guys. I mean, someone when who is really good at memorizing, then they should remember all of them. But most of us don't have that luxury. Okay, so we have to limit our words, limit the number of words we have to read. Okay, so now we have to underline the very key words of the headings. Okay, so first step, what's the first step? We underline every keywords of the headings. Okay, from heading number 1 to heading number 8, right? Okay, now which words should we focus on? Okay, which words? First, we should focus on the number. Okay, because people cannot paraphrase the number. Okay, so for example, 1960, they cannot paraphrase 1960. It's really hard, okay, to paraphrase number. Uh-huh. And what else? Okay, names. Okay, they cannot, paraphrase name. It's really hard, right? So for example, my name is what Young. Okay, and when I appears, either I appears on the questions or on the text. Sorry, in the text. Okay. Yes, my name remains the same, right? My name doesn't change to another thing. So when we underline those two, so we prioritize those two things first. Okay, then we move on to what? The subject. Okay, the subjects or the headings. Okay, then we move on to the main adjectives and the verbs. Okay, remember that? Main adjectives, verbs. Okay, cool. Now I'll give you guys, okay, you guys can see the 8 headings. Alright, so I'll underline, as you can see on the board, okay, I'll show you 2 headings that I underlined the keywords, okay, and you guys do the rest. For me, good. Right. Now, okay, done, good. Now, moving on to our next step. Our next step is to read. Okay, now we, scroll up. Okay, we look at our text. We read the first paragraph. What do we read? What do we focus on? We focus on the first sentence. The first sentence of each paragraph. Okay, right. So here I have the first sentence of paragraph A. Okay, what does it say? According to the WHO, the world's population will double from 12% to 22% between 2015 and 2022. Oh, sorry, 2020. Okay, so this is what it says in the first sentence. Okay, so I want you guys to see the big picture here. What's the main topic, right, of this sentence? What does it want to say? What does it point to? Okay, I don't want you guys to translate it into your language, right, word by word. No, I want you guys to identify the main topic of this sentence, and that's how you guys do headings. Okay, so the main thing here is that it talks about what it says about the world's population, right? That's the main thing. Okay, the main thing is the world population will rise in the future. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so we can basically anticipate what comes next after this sentence. Okay, so that is step number 2. Okay, so that is step number 2, and now I want you guys to read all the first sentence of all the remaining paragraphs. Okay, and I want to give main topic, identify the main topic of each sentence. Okay, now done. Right, good. Now the next step is to read into the text. Okay, we cannot rely on only one sentence. Now, I suppose you can guess or you can anticipate the meaning of the paragraph. Like it gives you a general picture of the paragraph, but we have to be extra careful. So that is why there's step 3. Okay, we have to read in the paragraph. Okay, right. Now, but when we read in, we have to focus on what? We have to focus on the very meaning that I said at the beginning of this. Okay, I said about keywords. So you guys have to read the subject, main verbs, and what? The main adjectives. Okay, to grasp the very essence of each sentence. Okay, and from that very essence of each sentence, when you guys collect them together, you guys have a big picture of the paragraphs. Okay, now I will invite one student to come over, and then we will do it together to show you guys. Okay,